inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything.
Just jamming out to the song, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Just jamming out to the song. Okay, y'all, we have a great show for y'all today. Basically, I'm just going to be doing a nice UFO news roundup here. Specifically, I guess a lot of it is focused on James Fox and his interview he did with Jesse Michaels. Also released the new trailer for the program, right? His new documentary. We have been anticipating that for quite a while, personally myself. So very excited about that. So let's go through kind of what we're going to be talking specifically about in this episode. First, shout out to all the vetters out there watching, my YouTube members, Patreon members, and of course, my mods that are running the show here. Thank you so much. Without them, y'all, this live chat doesn't happen. So thank you guys. All right, so we're going to be I'm going to be reacting to the program trailer. Okay, James Fox's new documentary. So you're going to see the whole trailer. Then again, like I said, we're going to go over this Jesse Michaels interview that he did with James Fox, specifically 3 different parts. Part 1 will be the Jason Sands clip that's in there. Okay, and with that, I'm going to show part of the Nellis UFO video that's out there. Okay. And then the next part will be talking about Chuck Clark. Okay. And this infamous UFO video that is just, according to James Fox, is the best UFO video he's ever seen. And it's been very elusive. Logan Paul filmed it. He saw it. He's got a copy. But this film won't come out. Chuck Clark won't sell it. And apparently it's not in his possession anymore. So we've got some updates on that. I found, believe it or not, some stills, okay, screenshots of the video that I had never seen before. So we can get an idea of what this UFO looks like. Again, they're just screenshots, but they are supposedly, allegedly, directly from this famous Chuck Clark video, which, all right, let's do it. And then the third clip from the Jesse Michaels interview, we're going to be looking at an update on David Grush, which I found to be quite interesting. And we're also going to look at a tweet from Grant Cameron that I found absolutely fascinating. So shout out to Grant Cameron. Then we are... I got a few announcements at the end that we'll go over, and then a Q&A. But before we get started, real quick, shout out to all the victims of the hurricane, especially in North Carolina, that are suffering right now. I mean, all over, right? Anyone affected and hit by this is crazy right now. So shout out to them. And we'll be, trying to help any way we can. Been through a few hurricanes here in Texas, so I know exactly the devastation that it can cause, and then just what comes after that, right? Which is even, some might say, harder, the rebuild, if you will. So, and I have a tradition normally on the show where we shout out location stuff. I'm going to save that for a little bit later so that there's more people in the chat when we get to that point. So don't worry, I have not broke that tradition. And of course, this is always a tradition. On the first of every month, I always do a live stream. All right. So let's get started. All right. I think the first thing we got to do, right, is react to this trailer. Okay, hang on. Okay. All right. Again, so little backstory, right? Real quick before I play this. Again, this is James Fox's newly released trailer, the very first trailer for his upcoming documentary entitled The Program. All right. And we'll watch it. You'll get to see what it's about. I've covered it extensively on the channel here. If you follow his Twitter, he releases a lot of like little clips and little Easter eggs. And I've shown him on my channel, right, to help promote this documentary because I love James Fox as a filmmaker, right? He's the inspiration behind the show getting started, vetted, and I literally cannot wait to see this documentary. And you can already tell here, right? You've got some pages with redactions, like, okay, that we're already starting like, this is going to be nuts, right? Yeah, and it's supposedly, right, allegedly, and according to James Fox, he thinks it will, not necessarily move the needle, but will, cause some more conversation, right? It will shake it up a bit, if you will, which is phenomenal, right? That's what you want from a documentary. I mean, there's different kinds of documentaries. I shouldn't say that. But I would think at the least, at the minimum, if you're a documentary filmmaker, and I've interviewed many for many types of documentaries, you want to start a conversation, right? You want to start a conversation. You want to shed light on something you feel has been in the darkness. Let's put it that way, right? And if we look at James Fox's other documentaries, he has done that, right? And specifically the types of documentaries. He's never done one like this, focusing on what he's focusing on, right? So let's watch the trailer and then we'll discuss. All right, enough of me blabbing. Get ready, y'all. Get ready for the goods.
In 2017, the New York Times published a story exposing a secret government program investigating UFOs.
That story was kind of a catalyst for a lot of things that have happened since. Members of Congress started to ask questions.
Instruments report there is something there.
There are flight characteristics that we can't explain.
UAPs are unexplained. It's true. They need to be investigated.
Here we are having a hearing where just a few years ago, we didn't even acknowledge that these things were real.
Do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
You're telling me people have come forward claiming firsthand knowledge of craft of non-human origin?
That's correct. We have sources who have asserted not only that there have been crashes, but there have been crash retrievals.
Do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they human or non-human?
Non-human.
I'm sitting here today because the American people are being lied to.
We are the American government, and we are open, and we're going to be open about this.
What has been revealed:
non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity.
Is only part of the story.
The pressure's on. The Pentagon, the CIA, they're going to have to answer the mail.
Some are risking everything.
Have you had incidences that have caused you to be in fear for your life?
Yes, personally.
To uncover the rest.
What is being done to verify the assertion that the U.S. government has spaceships of non-human intelligence in their possession?
That kind of revelation unearths people's beliefs.
I would go to jail to say things that I've been exposed to in the program.
Yo, what? Let's be real. That was awesome. Okay, that was awesome. Let's just look at some stills here. This footage right here, we're going to be taking a look at in a little bit. So stay tuned. That's the from the Nellis test range. We'll get to that in a second. What I'm trying to find is this guy. Okay. Right here. Boom. Who is this guy? This is not Jason Sands, as many of you are thinking. This, in my opinion, is Military X. as James Fox has entitled him, given him that moniker. He put out a tweet, which I've covered in videos, right, stating that this person, Military X, was coming forward. I think it's him, but I could be wrong. I don't know. His voice has changed, so clearly he's not coming out in the documentary. But what story is he a part of? What story is he telling? Right? That's what I'm so curious about with this person. Now, Jason Sands is coming out, showing his face. And I'm a little curious as to how far Jason Sands' story is going to get shown in the program, because I've covered a lot of different parts of Jason Sands' story that he's spoken about in X Spaces on Twitter. And there's a lot to it, right? It's not just one thing. So that's interesting. Now, the clip I'm going to play a little bit later might give you an indication of what exactly he talks about in the documentary, but there could be more. But yeah, what do y'all think? There's some really good, clearly they're focusing on, government involvement, right, with the program, right? Is there this reverse engineering and crash retrieval UFO program, right? That's the key distinction, because we know that within the American government, there exists a crash retrieval program. That is, we've had that to recover foreign technology, right, from other countries. That's a given. And then we try to reverse engineer that stuff. That's also things we have. The question is, do we have a separate program for extraterrestrial, right? Or unknown origin, not of Earth, or of Earth, but of a different non-human, right? Capability. And I think non-human is and not just non-human. Well, it could be dogs. Clearly, we're not talking about Fido, right? Or cats or goats or chickens or whatever, right? We clearly mean this aliens, okay? Whether they come from underground or this or that alien, not us, but intelligent. And focusing on this in the government, right? And I'm super excited because a full documentary dedicated towards that, really breaking it down, and stuff that's just been covered by so many, myself included, podcasters, YouTubers, all kinds of interviews. It's all over the place. And James is just going to bring it to one cohesive film to talk about this. And I can't wait, with a lot of like new updates, right? And people that have never spoken before. So yes, I'm excited. It involves members of Congress. And yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait, y'all. All right, let's jump to the next bit, okay, which is going to be, let me see if I find this correctly. Hang on. What's the problem? I don't know which. Yeah, this is it right here. So let me bring it up. So again, this is going to be Jesse Michaels and James Fox talking about Jason Sands, who is included in this documentary, the program.
Modern day versions of that, and I remind people, it's like, okay, I know this sounds a little crazy, however, let me remind you that the very person who documented or researched UFO cases for the United States government, Dr. Hynek, from 47 to 69 or 70, he's the one that coined the phrase close encounter of the first kind, close encounter of the second kind, and close encounter of the third kind. So that's been going on for decades. Yeah, very credible reports.
Can we get into the story you tell in the program of a face-to-face interaction?
U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant Jason Sands was stationed at the nearby Nellis Air Base with the 67th Intelligence Group at the time.
This previous week, the UFO came on the range, flew right by what we called the schoolhouse, because that's where we did the training, and it went down into the valley and continued on. So they have actual video of it, and that's what you see out there in the public, this Nellis Range UFO.
P1 control doesn't know what type of aircraft it is either.
That's his truth.
Yeah.
We have the names of the other on-duty military personnel.
Yes.
We have a location and we have a date.
Yes. Yeah.
I opted to report on it, even though I can't prove that it happened.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty compelling account.
What's the location?
It was, Nellis Testing Range in Nevada. 1994. It was August.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild.
I mean, you've heard, but it doesn't not pattern match to other stories. Like, I don't know if you have heard.
So they get into other stories, but that's clip number 1 from Jesse Michaels' interview. Again, all links in the description. Please go check out this full interview. It's like over 3 hours. I will say that the timestamps are screwed up. The timestamps are all screwed up, so they don't match what they say. Maybe some of them do, and but the ones I tried, they just didn't match up, which can happen just from the beginning, or this happened to me. If you go in and edit the video after you've put it up and timestamped it, but then you remove something from it, of course it screws up all the timestamps from that point forward. So that could have been what happened. Something got removed, or it just was wrong from the beginning. But I hope Jesse Michael sees this and can go in and change these timestamps. Yeah, it's a phenomenal interview. All right, let's go to the next clip. Which, again, let me preface this real quick. This is the Nellis Test Range footage. It's just the raw footage. It's really low quality, but it's just, this is the video. Okay, I'll put a link in the description to go watch this if you want the full video. Okay, it's like 7 minutes or something. Again, really low quality, but this is it. This is the original stuff that leaked out. This is 1994. They're on the test range. They film things, and they're supposed to turn off some of their camera equipment and some of their stuff when they're supposed to when they test black projects, right, on the base. Well, they didn't, and they still captured something. So meaning it kind of implies they would have turned it off. They wouldn't have this footage if it was just our own advanced tech, right? But they're kind of stating this was something that just came out of nowhere, right, into their space. And right, and then you've got other people corroborating the story in person, Jason Sands being one, and other people. And other people, I think, are going to be featured in James Fox's documentary, which could even be who that military X person was we were looking at earlier. Could be them telling a story about this. But I don't know. They look kind of young. But, hard to tell. And they're still in uniform, wearing like, private uniform. Like that seems, I just don't see an older person doing that, but who knows? All right, let's watch a little bit of this. I'm going to kind of skip around. Can I just say I love watching footage like this? Okay. Can I just say I love, because you just, something about it, right? It's like a video they find on the island in Lost. You know what I mean? It's like, ooh, what is this? All right, let me skip ahead. They kind of talk about this unknown thing coming in. And again, I'm going to put links in the description. Please go check it out. Okay, so you see this little black thing, right? All right, so pay attention. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I agree. It's really hard to see. And remember, they're basically filming this thing because they don't know what this thing is flying around. Again, they supposedly are supposed to turn off these cameras, right? And their radars, everything when advanced tech is being flown. And that's not what happened. And this thing moves just so strange. He said a helo. I don't know if, do you see something above it kind of spinning?
Yeah, can't get it really bad on this thing.
You hear that? He said, it's a helo, isn't it? He said, what is that? I don't know. You figure these guys would be pretty used to seeing helos, meaning helicopter, chopper, get to the chopper, right? That they would be able to distinguish between something they're familiar with seeing and something they're not. And they would recognize different aspects to what they're looking at, right, on their camera, on their screens, and visually, like with their eyes. I just think they wouldn't get that confused. I mean, that does not look like a helicopter. It did for an instant there in the back. Like I was thinking that right before he said it, but when they zoom in on it, what is that thing? The light is. I just don't know what that light is, you know. Anyway, look, I put a link in the description. Please go take a look at the full video if you like. All right. Now, this next one I'm super interested to show y'all, okay? Coincidentally, in August, I was looking at making a video, sort of an updated video on this famous Chuck Clark UFO video, right? He didn't film it or anything, but he was in possession of this famous UFO video that James Fox has spoken about many times, famously on Joe Rogan's podcast, and telling Joe just how great of a video it was. And he went through the description of what he saw in the video, right? It was two guys on a trip out near Area 51, places I've been myself, actually. And in fact, supposedly where this video is filmed, I've been there. And, you know, two guys on a road trip filming with the camera, and they're having a good time. They go to like Rachel, Nevada, which is just outside of Area 51, right? They go to this place called the Little Alien, which is a very famous little like bar and hotel and restaurant and everything, right? All in one there. It's the only thing there, essentially. You know, besides a few motorhomes and things like that. But so, right, just having a typical touristy encounter, right? Well, then apparently in this video, they are in their car, right? And this light comes over them. They're freaking out. They get out to film and they see this UFO and they film it, right? This crazy thing just spinning right there, and they just don't know what to make of it, right? And the camera cuts off because the battery or something. And like I said, James said it was, I think he said it's like the best UFO video I'd ever seen, or close to, or something. You know, I don't want to misquote him, you know, paraphrasing there. Again, go check out his interview he did on Joe Rogan, the one about Varginha, right? The Moment of Contact film. It was last April 2023. Anyway, well, in that interview, he revealed that Logan Paul had reached out and wanted this video, right? And so he got Logan Paul connected to go to Chuck Clark's house. Let's put it that way. And Logan Paul showed up with, stacks, apparently, as the kids say, stacks, like $100,000 or something, somewhere in that range, right? Literally in cash to pay this guy for this video. And mind you, James Fox tried to pay for the video and no luck. Tried to get that video. Now, so Logan Paul's there at his doorstep, right? Like, I'll give you this money for the video. And Chuck Clark lets Logan Paul watch this video. Well, and he watches it several times. But what Chuck Clark didn't know is that Logan Paul was secretly recording that video with a button cam. Right. And so Chuck Clark's showing him this video over and over again, and Logan Paul's just getting it from different angles and and so now he has it recorded for free. Right. Doesn't need to pay this $100,000. But Logan Paul has never released it because he said it's not that interesting. But there's one part about it that's compelling, and it's the way the UFO moves and everything. Well, that particular part, I found some screenshots of that online, supposedly from that video, right? And I'll explain more about that in a second. But first thing we're going to do is watch a clip of James Fox and Jesse Michaels talking a little bit about this video. Then I'm going to show you those screenshots and tell you where I got them from, and you'll know. All right, here we go. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Is this it? I think this is it. Again, the timestamps were off, so it took me a minute to find it. Yeah, this is it. Here we go. Let me bring it up. All right, y'all. Here we go. Again, James Fox, Jesse Michaels talking about this Chuck Clark video.
I said, well, the guy's going to go. I got this guy who's just contacted me. I never met him, but he's going to go meet with Chuck Clark. And Logan's like, well, where is he? I said, he's in Arizona, somewhere in remote Arizona. So Logan's like, I'm going to meet with him. I said, do whatever you got to do to get that footage. Like that's been sitting way too long. So I guess he brought I want to say about $100,000 in cash. I think it was $100,000. It was at least 50. It might have been 100. And I could ask him. And he gets out there and he's got a couple of button cams on his thing. And, the tape was pretty degraded, and, but he filmed, can I see it again, and repositioned himself a little bit, played it a bunch of times. And, I guess he offered him $100,000, but he wouldn't take it. And, anyway, that whole story broke. And
that wouldn't take $100,000 for
evidently he was not going to sell it. It's not going to happen. Yeah. And so here's the real kicker. What really gets me. So I don't know what Logan's going to do with the footage, but Logan said it's pretty. He's like, you could see it wobbling, but it's really degraded. I mean, again, VHS tapes don't last. Should have been digitized or put on it.
The footage is compelling, not convincing. It's from 1995. The tape had been worn down. It's been played probably over 100 times. And so the quality is not great. And everything about it screams bullshit, which is the true reason I haven't released it.
But before that happened, and right around that time, this what really frustrates me, I contacted George Knapp. And I said, George, as I was wrapping up the phenomenon, I said, George, you have got to go and get this tape from Chuck Clark, or at least see it. And George was like, oh yeah, I know Chuck Clark. I did a whole story on him for the local news station. His place was ransacked by the feds. They came in and I don't know what he had. Maybe he had photographs of planes and hangars. I don't know.
I think James is confusing him with a different person. He did do a story with Chuck Clark, but it was about I think these little sensors that were around Area 51, and Chuck Clark had messed with those. I could be wrong myself though. But there, I feel like there was another gentleman who got his place raided, who had this website and showed, things flying around near Area 51, and he may have actually had videos of advanced tech on his site or something. I don't take my word for it. Go watch those videos for yourself. If you just, George Knapp, Area 51, you'll see the videos. But either way, sorry, let's continue.
But he had that, or maybe it was that footage. Don't know. I said, you got to go. You got to go. And I kept telling him, like, I can't do it, but I'm telling you, I've seen this tape and it's amazing. And like, you got to go find. He's like, I'll get on it. And I kept pushing George, and I like George Knapp a lot, and I have tremendous respect for him.
Me
and
too.
I kept pushing him. And one day he goes, listen, man, you're not my damn wife. Or, my girl would stop needling me. Just stop. I said, he goes, I'm really big. I said, okay, sorry. I'm just trying to hand you what I feel is the best. You've done all this reporting for all these years on Area 51 and Bob Lazar and UFOs at Area 51. And I saw the best footage I've ever seen in my life out there. So George Knapp doesn't go out there. The guy that gave it to Chuck Clark was a TV producer in Los Angeles, and he had it on like a beta SP tape and a master, I'm told. And from that master, he gave a copy to Chuck Clark, right? So as soon as the private eye and my got the name of that individual, we went after him, and he had just died. So if we would have gotten there, if George would have gotten there just a month or two earlier, we probably would have had the master.
Damn.
Come on, James. He's trying to blame George Knapp for this. I love George Knapp pushing back on James Fox. Hey, man, you're not my wife, dude. Stop needling me. I'll be honest. That would probably be my response. I'm that kind of, I'm that kind of way. So yeah, but look, that's not on George Knapp to make sure that video comes out. You know what I mean? He's a busy guy, got lots of stuff going on. And I know James Fox doesn't mean it that way, entirely. Will this footage ever come out? Right? No, I don't think so. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to show you something definitely most of you have never seen. Some of you have, who are just diehards, who just really dig into this stuff. But that has got to be 0.005%. So what I'm about to show you, you probably have not seen. So what I'm about to put on the screen, okay, are the screenshots from this video, allegedly. But I'm pretty confident they are, but I can't guarantee it 100%. All right. And as I break this down, you'll understand why. All right. So get ready. So again, these are screenshots from this supposed Chuck Clark UFO video. And these screenshots supposedly show the UFO. All right. Here we go. Boom. Right here. Let me let's go in a little bit further. Right there. These are supposedly all screen grabs, right? Stills from the video showing the UFO, right? If you remember James talking about it, it's this orange glowing thing that's kind of feels alive. Well, here it is. Now, why do I think this is it? Because this guy, UFO Watchdog, who put these up, he did an interview with Chuck Clark, and they talked extensively. I put a link to this in the description, so you can go to UFO Watchdog's Twitter and find this interview he did with Chuck Clark. And he just transcribed it. It's not an audio or anything. It's just transcribed, and you can see their whole conversation. Honestly, it tells the whole story about this video. I highly recommend reading that entire thing. It's really long, but well worth it. Chuck Clark, basically, to sum it up, Cliff Notes, Chuck Clark doesn't have the video anymore. He doesn't have it. He won't reveal where or if it's destroyed or hidden or anything like that. And he kind of implies that if Logan Paul were to release that video, he would sue him. Right. But at the end of the day, Chuck Clark isn't the owner of the video, right? The original video. He also just has a copy. I mean, that would be like if you had a copy of Lord of the Rings and someone came over your house and then filmed it on a little hidden cam on the screen, filmed Lord of the Rings, and then wanted to do something with it. And you were like, I'm going to sue you. But you don't own Lord of the Rings. So Chuck Clark doesn't own this video to sue anybody, right? And I think Logan Paul would release it anyway, right? The guy's got bazillions. I don't think he would worry about that. But to him, it screams bullshit, like he said. So he doesn't want to release it. And this may be why, right? These stills of it. And right here, he says, looking for witnesses. Right. The people that actually, because the people in the video who filmed this, they've never come forward. No one knows who they are. These two guys, right? Back in 1995, going to Area 51. Nobody knows who they are. Looking for witnesses. You filmed this object on a high 8 camcorder in 1994 in Nevada above your car. Well, 1994, 1995, I guess one of the two. I don't know. There's some discrepancies there with that because of what's in the video. Right, we'll get to that in a second. You gave someone a copy I viewed. Please contact me if you film this. Apologies for the poor images. That's all I have. Right. And he goes on to say, this was filmed right after dusk. The witnesses in the vehicle were clearly frightened. Witness 1 was driving. Witness 2 was the passenger. They both huddled down in the car. Witness 1 exited the car with witness 2 pleading for him not to. Jim, don't go out there. Please stay in the car. It's like a movie, right? Stay in the car. You always have that one guy who just like wants to go check it out and then he dies. The name Bob or Robert was heard on the tape. How do you confuse Bob or Robert? Bob, Robert. I don't know. That's just pretty significant difference. But anyway, some of what was heard in the video. Here it comes. Be quiet. Don't open the door. Be quiet. I think it's on top of us. Get down. Get down. Be quiet. Don't move. Shit. The battery's gone. Referring to the camera. And then it cuts off, right? The witnesses were clearly frightened. There was orange-colored light illuminating the interior of the vehicle. The interior of the vehicle was somewhat cluttered. It appeared the two witnesses were on a road trip. There are daylight video clips showing the Nevada desert. The object film appeared to be 50 feet to 100 feet about above the car. The object was clearly structured. The copy I viewed, so this guy's saying he saw it, right? That's how he got these stills. Has degraded, and I am seeking the original media. The video I viewed had 3 clips on it and was approximately 3 minutes and 30 seconds in length. The two witnesses were reported to be afraid. They'd filmed a classified military craft and had a friend making a copy in a professional editing studio. So they're saying they went back to California. Their friend worked in a professional studio and they had a copy made. The video, as far as I've been able to ascertain, has never been released publicly. That is true. He says, how did you get the stills? Right. And UFO Watchdog says, I was provided them after a lot of discussion. He hasn't heard a peep about this, right? That was since 2023. Now, I reached out to UFO Watchdog back in August to see if I could do an interview with him, and I have heard nothing back. So if you're seeing this, UFO Watchdog, would love for you to come on and talk about this. But these are the stills. Now, I have a little GIF here. Can you see that? There's a little GIF of all the stills put together of what potentially it might look like spinning around. Again, it's not the video, but it's those stills, put together. I don't know. Kind of interesting. But on its own, I mean, I would have to see the video. It's hard to make it off these stills, essentially. But again, link in the description. Go check it out. Now, some of the discrepancies I've heard of that story were that one in particular was they claimed in the video that these guys got video footage by the extraterrestrial highway sign. That's a special sign that's on the road leading up to Rachel, Nevada, right by Rachel, Nevada. And one of the entrances to Area 51. It's a very famous sign. There's stickers all over it. I've been there. I've taken pictures there. I even have video. In my video of Area 51, you can see this sign. I did a little piece under it, a piece to camera. And that sign didn't come out till a particular year. It's not like it's been there forever. And originally, when they said the data that this happened, that sign hadn't been put in yet. So it was like, how could they film by the sign if the sign wasn't put there, right? And then the date started to change of when this was filmed. And I just think there's a little bit of shadiness going on there with that. But who knows? I don't know. Just allegedly. I don't know. Would I like to see the video? You damn right I would. Who wouldn't? Right? Who wouldn't want to see this video that James Fox speaks so highly of? I will say that those stills worry me, but those are just stills. We don't know if that's the order, right? I don't know anything. I can't even 100% confirm that those stills came from the video. Right? It's just what UFO Watchdog is saying, but he did interview Chuck Clark. So I don't know. Just very interesting. That's all I'll say. Very interesting. Look into it. See what you think. But I don't see that video coming out. I mean, how do you get offered $100,000 and don't put out the video, right? Or $50,000? Like, it makes no sense. So, yes, I got little notes here. Okay, calm down. All right, let's go to the next clip, which is going to be from the same Jesse Michaels interview of them talking about David Grush. And I thought this is pretty apropos. Okay. All right. Again, Jesse Michaels, James Fox speaking about David Grush. Here we go.
Exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Don't you think?
I know that, and I've also I've helped since then with trying to get Grush's op-ed out or whatever a little bit, and like I see the pain he's going through.
I worked so hard to portray him in the light that he deserves in the program.
I think he did.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I hope he sees that.
Yeah,
I'm sure he will.
I told him that. And he was like, "Awesome."
Oh, I'm really glad. Yeah, because I don't blame him. I mean, he was a bit skittish, and he was very selective with a handful of interviews that he gave. You being one of them, and I talked to somebody there, and even Leslie tried to get him for an upcoming production. He's like, I'm just not really doing it anymore.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
I don't either. I don't. Yeah.
But I really tried to do his story justice, and not for any other reason that I believe him. I believe him, and I think he merits that level of coverage.
I fully agree. Yeah. James, this has been an honor, man. This is awesome. I really appreciate it. It's been a long time coming. Yeah.
Please go check out this video. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. I mean, I recommend every Jesse Michaels interview. 1,000%. So there's some interesting things there, right? Jesse Michaels trying to help David Grush with his op-ed and get that out. That never happened. And sort of the pushback, right, to get that story out. Because what they were talking about right before that was David Grush's original story, coming out in the debrief, right? Where Leslie Kane was a staff writer for the New York Times and pitched doing this story just like the 2017 New York Times article, right, that came out. So she's pitching again, like, let's do the story for the New York Times, and they just didn't want to take it, right? And it got shopped around to a few other outlets, and just ended up on the debrief store, right? There was some other outlets wanted to do more digging and more investigation, I think, before they put it out. And, but at the end of the day, his story came out, right? Went out in the debrief. Then News Nation did that big piece. And then he testified just a month and a half later, right, before Congress, which I think at the end of the day is the most important part of David Grush's story, is this, right, under oath testimony about what he said. I think it's, can I say this? Yeah. I mean, I in my opinion, it's like the most explosive, credible, conversation about UFOs maybe ever, right? Publicly, like put on camera, is that congressional testimony. It's not in a documentary. It's not in a book. It's not on a podcast. It's not in a YouTube video. It's not in some article. This is in front of Congress, right, under oath about this. So yeah, yeah. So regardless, and it sounds like David Grush is just kind of staying back on things, right? James Fox reveals right there that Leslie Kean was working on a project and wanted to include David Grush, and he declined. He's just trying to stay out of it. And probably other people have approached him, let's be real, right, to be in their documentary. There's no question, right? I'm sure James Fox approached him, and maybe he is in it in another way. We don't know. But I get it. Just like they're saying, like, I get it. Totally. I absolutely get it. I get it. So anyway, there you go. There's your update on David Grush. Wish him the best. And he probably doesn't watch Vetted, but if he did, or if someone told him, I respect it. And thank you for doing that testimony. And I hope people follow up with what you said and continue to. Because I think that's our best bet. I've said that for a long time on this channel. David Grush is our best bet. All right. I think it's time. I'm going to take a little break here before we get to the next story and do a quick tradition on the live streams here, which is we're going to shout out where you're from. I'm going to read it off of the chat. I haven't been paying attention to the chat at all this whole time, but I am now. So I'm in Texas. Let me know in the chat where you are watching this from, and I'm going to shout it out. Let's go, y'all. Let me know, please. Tell me. West Wales, North Wales, San Diego, DFW, Detroit, Somerset, South Wales, Chicago, Florida, Buenos Aires, Tampa, the Netherlands, London, Mount Hood, Oregon, Prague, Luling, Texas, Oregon, Lancashire, England, Savannah, Georgia, Henrietta, Peoria, Montreal, Arizona, Philippines, San Jose, New Zealand. Love that. Asheville, PA, he says. Delano, California, North Dakota, Virginia, Bakersfield. Look at that, y'all. New Jersey. Utica, New York. I've been there. Cromwell, Connecticut. Scotland. Massachusetts. Virginia. Look at that. Bakersfield. Switzerland. Wow. Look at that. Quebec. Canada. Kansas City. Seattle, baby. Midland. This is beautiful, y'all. Myerside. Serbia. Love this. Look at that, y'all. Okay. Worldwide audience. Let's go, Vetters. We cross the globe. Nolans. That's New Orleans for the rest of you who don't know. You got to say it like that, okay? Nolans. Portuguese. Greece. I love it. Yes, y'all. Thank you for everyone watching. Puerto Rico, I see there. Beautiful. Puerto Rico, Boricua, vámonos. Yes, thank you to everyone watching. All right, let's jump into the next story. This is going to potentially, this might blow your mind. I don't know what it takes to blow your mind. I don't know the line that needs to be crossed where you go. But for me, this is kind of mind-blowing. Even though I've read this before, it's still, anytime I'm think about this, what I'm about to bring up, you'll see it's still mind-blowing to think about. You'll see why. All right. So this is a tweet from Grant Cameron. Okay. Famous UFO researcher and investigator. I've had him on the show before, and we've talked about this gentleman before, which is Tim Taylor. All right. And there's an excerpt from a book here where he talks about something about Tim Taylor. So this is Tim Taylor speaking, right? And let me just read it and then we'll go over it. Who's Tim Taylor? He's featured in Diana Pasulka's book and Chris Bledsoe's book. He's referred to as Tyler D in Diana Pasulka's book, but Chris Bledsoe just names him, and he goes by Timothy E. Taylor. Works for NASA, government, DOD. I don't know the extent of everything he's worked for, to be honest with you, but he was part of studying Chris Bledsoe and his family for a long time. I've heard stories of him being at what they're called jump rooms, these portals, that traverse space and time. He goes to a lot of like functions with other experiencers, and it is purported that he can download information from non-human intelligence, amongst other people. He's not the only one that has made that claim, but that claim of downloading information from a non-human intelligence, right? New information, ideas, I don't know, things, and then you can implement that into your daily life. So here's an excerpt. Let me read this. Humans are a type of satellite, in fact. So, in order to receive the signals and to transmit the signals, we have to tune our physical bodies and DNA. Because of this, I make sure I sleep for 8 hours, wake up, and then make myself go back to bed for an hour. That 1 hour, the top off, really makes or breaks my day. I barely drink alcohol as it interferes with sleep, and I never drink coffee. I do. Coffee really messes up the signal. Oh, shit. Damn, I'm just messing up my signal, y'all. I also have to be in the sun. So I wake up, and the previous night I will have gone to bed a little dehydrated. Then I get another 1 hour sleep and go out into the sun. While I bask in the light of vitamin D, I drink a tall glass of water, which flushes my cells and rehydrates them. This is better than coffee. It is at this point I can feel the connection. I know I've established connection when the thoughts that show up in my mind don't seem like my own. They are unfamiliar. With practice, you can feel the difference. What do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about that? Very interesting. Right. Very interesting, if you ask me. Very, very interesting. Now I'm all, people have their own sort of routines to get themselves going, and that seems doesn't seem that far out there, if you ask me. Some of that seems like a good idea, right? But I will push back a little. There are so many studies of the health benefits of drinking coffee, right? It's how you drink the coffee that really matters, just like anything. And moderation is key. I would say that maybe this protocol doesn't work for everybody, and maybe for him it does. But regardless, I don't know. It's interesting. Have you ever wondered if the thoughts you have are all your own? I've talked about this before in the podcast, but I don't really write songs anymore, but there was a long while there where I did write a lot of music and songs, and used to work with co-writers and things, and you just kind of sit in a room and just kind of jam together, and everyone just kind of throws out ideas and this, and then once you find something you like, everyone's kind of working on it together, and you replay it a lot, and you're kind of just figuring things out and writing lyrics down, just figuring it out. But I will say that there's been moments where, it just comes to you. You just have ideas. I don't know how to explain it. more than anything. It just comes. You sing a melody. Where does that melody come from, right? Like it's a whole thing. A melody is like this whole journey of sound. That's how I would describe a melody. And how you can just randomly put that together in your mind is fascinating, right? Is it coming from us? What's within us? I don't know. So I find that fascinating. The thoughts that we have, are they all our own? There's stories of musicians. Paul McCartney, for instance, has had dreams where he heard a melody and then woke up and was like, you got to write this. You know, where did it come from? I don't know. Where did it come from? Where did you go? Cotton Eye Joe, or whatever, however that song goes. Anyway, I don't know. It's a fascinating theory, and the idea of downloading information is fascinating. We've talked about on the channel plenty of times. I find that still fascinating, but it freaks me out. I'm not gonna lie, because then you start. In my opinion, don't get worried and start wondering, are the thoughts you're having your own, right? I'd say just by default, you should just assume they are, because again, you can go both ways with this thought, which is we don't understand how the mind works, right? Consciousness. We don't understand it all. So therefore, when we talk about the possibilities of could you download it and could telepathy this, that, yes, that's a possibility, right? Because again, we don't know how the mind works, right? But the other side of that coin, right? The other possibilities on this back end here would be our mind might be capable of making this stuff up, hallucinate, right? Like just playing tricks on us on what reality is, like that's also a possibility. We don't understand the full function of what tricks our mind could be playing on us, maybe for our own protection, maybe whatever, or we just don't understand how to interpret all the data coming through our brain, right? I just think if you consider XYZ possibilities, you have to consider ABC over here too. I mean, I'm just saying, right? Which is why I'm open-minded to it, but I'm not sold on it. That makes sense. I'm not sold either way, but it is interesting. And I love talking to people who make that claim that they can do that. All right. It's interesting to talk to them. All right. Let's get to some channel announcements and some Q&A here from the chat. I am going to get to that. So, first announcement I want to make is I got a live stream coming up this Thursday. Okay, bringing back Simon Holland, Clint from Night Shift, and myself. Pavel cannot make the live stream. If something changes, I'll let y'all know. But it's going to be us three. I am going to try to get someone else to join us, and I have a few ideas of who. So stay tuned. Could be just a secret special guest for that one. But basically going to follow up on the story that we did a couple weeks ago that went crazy, right? In the UFO community, at least. I even saw a breakout of the UFO community, to be honest with you, and be talked about by a lot of people. So we're going to be covering that. Again, following up on that and just talking about more UFO news, right, that are out and different concepts. So that's going to be fun. That last video went over really well. So the gang is back. Look forward to that. That'll be Thursday. I'm also going to be doing a live stream very soon, probably next week, of UFO videos, right? UFO videos you've probably never seen before because they're in our Discord. We've set up a channel in our Discord for vetters to go in and post videos they have filmed themselves of UFOs. And I'm going to be doing an entire live stream dedicated to showing those videos. All right. So if you haven't already and you want to, go to our Discord, sign up. It's free. Join. And there's a channel called Your UFO Videos or Vetter UFO Videos or something like that. Damn it. I can't remember exactly. There you can post the videos. There's already a lot of videos there of people posting their own UFO videos. So I'm going to be covering that and going over those. That's going to be awesome. So that's just going to be an entire live stream of badass brand new UFO videos. So make sure to get those in before next week. And with that said, I would like to make this special announcement. Our Discord server. we have reached over 1,000 members. So, we deserve, I don't know, a pat on the back, all of us here at Vetted. All the mods, right, who help run the Discord. Allie, Justin, Jessica, Brookers, Heiser, Chris James, and especially Daniel Clancy, right, who is the head moderator here at Vetted and who built out this entire Discord server. I threw out a few ideas, but I think the food channel. Honestly, I don't even think that was my idea. So shout out to Daniel, just amazing dude, amazing guy, an absolute just powerhouse. Okay. And just a great dude. But he deserves a lot of credit for building this out. And then everyone else, right? All the different mods, all the people, all the Discord members, right? Because without it, we're just two buns with no patty. You know what I mean? So you're the patty. I'm Pat and you're the patty. You're the burger patty, right? Without it, we don't have a burger, y'all. So thank y'all for helping grow this Discord to what it is. All the great conversations, open mics that happen in there, people sharing so much. And we're really creating a nice space to have these respectful conversations. Where again, my philosophy is have any opinion you want, just be respectful about it. And that's the philosophy in the Discord server that I think we've all helped kind of gather around, right? That, yeah, have your opinion. Let's all have different opinions. We can all learn from each other, but let's just be respectful and courteous about it. And that's it. And of course, people are allowed to get, un poco de pasión, yo entiendo, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You get a little passionate sometimes and you want, get a little heated and you want to discuss this and that, it happens, right? But overall, we just have such an amazing community. So thank you to everyone who's a part of that and a part of making that happen. And if you do want to get a little, have a little more of a back and forth, which I get, right? A friendly debate, if you will. We have a debate channel on the Discord where you can go debate. Lots of debates happen in there where people want to go back and forth on something and keep it friendly and cool and just make sure you can shake hands at the end of it. That's all it is. Because remember, someone's opinion is not worth getting upset at them for. It's just their opinion. That's it. It's literally their opinion, right? That's it. And you have yours. Pretty simple. So anyway, awesome to us. Over 1,000 members. Thank you to everyone. All right, it's time for me to announce our Vetter of the Month. That's right. It's a new tradition we just started, where I will announce it on this traditional live stream, right? This monthly live stream that we do the first of every month, where I do a live stream. Last month we announced our Vetter of the Month, our very first one, and it was Heiser Soze, right? One of our mods. That seemed a little, people were like, oh, he's a mod. Well, okay. The mods are vetters too, y'all. And, put in a lot of effort into this channel. So I just thought it was appropriate, at least for the first one. Now, the second one is not a moderator, but is someone that absolutely has helped out in the community and that I think everyone will agree is a great choice. And it kind of just needs to happen. Right. They need this acknowledgement for sure. They rightly deserve it. They're an exceptional person outside of all of this. Right. Just a great person, which I respect. And they really do provide a lot to the UFO community. His name is Todd Harper. Right. Todd Harper. Congrats to Todd. He definitely deserves Vetter of the Month. And over the course of this month, he has jumped in to help out the Vetted Discord in a really great way, where he is hosting these open mics after the videos premiere every day, right? He's not doing it every day, but he does it a lot of days. He goes in and has these great conversations with everybody, and everybody jumps in and joins, and it's great. Sometimes I pop in. And he's done a great job with that, because that really is a great little aspect to the Discord, are these open mic conversations. So anyway, shout out to Todd. Great job, brother. All right, let's get to some questions here from the chat. Yeah, Todd Talks. That's what we call them. Todd Talks. Or Todd Tots. I don't know. I was thinking tater tots. Todd Tots. I don't know. Those are those little nuggets of wisdom. We'll call them Todd Tots. They're just the little nuggets of, little tots of wisdom. Monkey Boy says, has anyone seen my car keys? I don't know what that means, but thank you for the super chat. Andre says, imagine if red pandas are the apex beings. Sure. Red pandas are adorable. They are adorable. Charlie says, great show again. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Charlie. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, guys, put your comments in all caps if you can. I don't know. I said it every time and no one ever does it. So, and I will answer your questions or throw out a cool comment. I'll put it up here. That's hilarious. What? All right, here we go. Would you touch a UFO if you found one? Probably would. And it's probably not a good idea, but I probably would. Yes. I'd definitely get up close or what, Yeah, I would. Have you noticed that just by changing the order, open can become nope? Okay, sorry. Had no good question to ask. Okay, interesting. See if you could get Paul Wallace to fill the slot Thursday. He's amazing. You would love his way of thinking. Okay. Well, I already have some people in mind, but I appreciate that. Rhett Carson says, first comment. I watch every day. Great content. I look forward to each day. Thank you, Rhett. Appreciate it, brother. Great profile shot. Cool hair, man. Andre says, any closer to the governments that have the items, artifacts being any closer to any star system of origin? Wait, what? Any closer to the governments? I'm not sure I understand that, Andre. Do we know if any of these things are from a particular star system? Is that what you're asking? Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I'm sorry. Monkey Boy says, it's okay. I found them. Love your work, Patrick. Okay. Found his car keys. Spent $10 to tell me. Awesome. Guys, if you lost anything else and you want to spend $10 to let me know, go for it. I'm totally cool with that. Let me know. Orb's video yesterday and Ashton Forbes, what does he think as some similarities? Not sure I understand that either. But if you don't know, yesterday I put up a video of Ashton Forbes of Patrick Jackson, which is doing really well, to be honest with you. That interview is doing really well. So if you haven't, go check that out. One of the top videos I put out in a while. People are enjoying it. If anything, it just creates conversation. Whether or not you agree with his theory that he proposed, I think it's great because it just creates conversation. And that's always a good thing. Discussion, right? For people to go back and forth on ideas and theories. And I love that. I think it's cool. So yeah, shout out to Patrick and shout out to him for coming on to do that. If you haven't already, I recommend go check it out. It's really good. Hi, Patrick. Do you think we see more UFOs, UPs these days in absolute numbers, or is it somehow biased by us starting to care about the topic? That's interesting. I think that's a possibility, right? If I said pink elephants to you or something, right, you're going to think about pink elephants and you might notice them more out and about. It's once your mind's aware of something, you might see it more. I think that's totally worth considering. So great point. Have you tried CE5? I have not. I don't intend to try that. Not yet. I just don't know what to expect from that. Trying to contact some other entities or species that I know nothing about and could very well have the capabilities to fry my brain. No matter how low the probability is, I have responsibilities. I got a family. I got things I got to take care of. So I don't know if taking that chance would be worth it to me. You know what I mean? But all the more power to the people that do. And they always say positive experiences from it. So who knows? Maybe one day my mind will be changed. I'm always open to that for sure. Especially hearing how some people do have great experiences with it. So, shout out to Allie and Justin, our mods here. They host things like that and do things like that, and they always have nothing but great things to say about it. So if you are interested in it, Jude, or someone I highly recommend going through them. They don't charge, and if they do, it's minimal. I don't think they do, but I would, if they did, I wouldn't see that as a big deal, to be honest with you. But yeah, I highly recommend them. I trust them, and there's somebody you could put your faith in for that. Hey Pat, me and my wife had a second encounter of a silver orb moving silently above the house. There were other witness reports. Okay. Did you get video? What would be the most mind-blowing thing for you to come out in the November 13th hearing? That's a good question. That's a good question. If they wheeled out like an alien, or like Nancy Mace, and you know what? We're going live to a warehouse at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base where we have live streaming footage of a UFO. Blah, here it is, and here's David Fravor, who's going to be flying this thing around to show you guys how it works, and you just see David Fravor in the back like, yee, I knew it. I've always wanted to fly one of these things. That would be mind-blowing, something like that. But there probably is going to be some crazy stuff come out of that hearing, right? But that would be the most mind-blowing. Some sort of just smoking gun evidence. Would you kiss a female alien? No, I'm married. Do you think UFOs are more likely to be from under the sea or from space? That's interesting. Maybe both. The idea of space seems more likely, just for the sense that that's something we've experienced here, right? When the Earth was smaller and people were finding out about each other, right? It's just different parts of the Earth. They found each other, right? So the idea that other planets like ours, we'd find beings from them, just seems, I guess, more structured in my mind of what I'm used to. But yeah, it's just the idea that there would be beings on this planet we don't know about that have lived here the whole time is more mind-blowing to me than beings coming from another planet. That seems likely, that there is life, just so much life in the universe, in my opinion. Just crazy amount of life. So again, the idea that they've been on this planet would be the craziest. So like if they were under the sea, that would be nuts. I have a question. What do you think of the alien demon hypothesis? I don't know. It's possible. It's all possible till there's proof, right? It's all possible. How about interviewing Salvatore Pais, UFO patent guy? Yeah, I would love that. I've watched interviews of his. I would definitely love that. That would be a sick conversation, wouldn't it? That would be a great conversation here on Vetted. James says, thanks for your interview with Patrick yesterday. It's some heady stuff. Wondering if you have any reflections on how the interview went or your opinion on his theory. Yeah, the interview went great. Again, I'm super happy he came on and told it to the audience for everyone to kind of take in and make their own decisions. My goal was to bring it to y'all. My opinion on the theory, I think, is moot. But personally, I'm just undecided on it. I'm neutral, right? Not one way or the other on it. But so glad he came on. We need to loudly thank those couple members of Congress who once again watered down the UAP Disclosure Act bill, for by doing so, they have publicly acknowledge the government's involvement in UAP. Well, I don't think one means the other, but I get your sentiment. Monkey Boy says, I have nothing interesting to say, so I just send random messages with money to support. My favorite kind. Oh, Monkey Boy, you always have something interesting to say, man. But yes, my favorite kind. Oh, I like this question. What meal would you cook for an alien? That's a good question, man. You know, I think you'd have to bring them in softly. I can't just hit them with the 1-2 punch. So just like, it depends. Would I get to ask them questions? Because that's what you do, right? Like, let's say, typically when you're cooking, I never liked cooking when people just came up and be like, hey, just make me some. It's like, can you just please pick off the menu? Just make something. But when I bartended a long time, people would come up, right, and just make me a drink. And then as a good bartender, you know, a few key questions to ask to sort of narrow it down and bottleneck it so you can then choose from a range of different ideas you may have. But you got to find out a few things first. So if I had a chance, I would ask the alien a few questions about different things to sort of narrow down what I would make for them. So it could be very elaborate or it could be something quite simple. But if I didn't get a chance to talk to him at all, I guess I would just introduce him to something very simple. Yeah, just simple. You know, I don't know, probably like some breakfast tacos, just simple breakfast tacos. Let's go there. Let's start there. Then we'll work our way. And it also would depend, had they eaten anything before, or this was their first human meal, right? But yeah, great question. I could talk about that forever, to be honest with you. Costas, Khan, what's up, brother? One of the best videos today, Patrick. Congrats to 1,000 Discord members and all the mods and our very own Todd. Appreciate you in our chats, man. Absolutely. Khan is another great person who talks in our Discord open mics. Super smart guy. There's so many smart people in there. Y'all, you're really, come with your A game. Let's put it that way. Come with your A game. I learn a lot by hanging out with these guys and talking. Thank you, brother. All right. Oh my God. Sorry. Get behind here. What if my random thought that was created was my thought being created? And what if I hadn't told you about any of this? Would you have had this thought? Right. Matt say, did everything turn out good between you and Killa? No, it didn't. No. And not going to talk about him on here. This thing's happening behind the scenes. I'm dealing with that the right way, the legal way. Let's put it that way. The Robbie says, do you think UFOs are shooting down the missiles IRSN sent to Israel today? I don't know. I have no idea. That's a lot to jump to get to those conclusions, right? I need a lot of data. I need a lot of information to make any sort of to have any sort of opinion on that. And even then, my opinion literally means nothing about that. But I don't think UFOs are involved in any of that kind of stuff, me personally. But if people do, that's all for them. Oh, Allie says, I don't charge. Laughing my ass off. Sorry, Allie. If you did, you could. I'm not saying Stephen Greer prices, but y'all offer a service that has a lot of value. And people can trust you, which is key, I think, to something so important, right? That you can be trusted. So again, I absolutely stand behind Allie and Justin. If you want to look into CE5, those are the people that I would go to. And they don't charge. Look at that. Hi, Patrick. Would you take a ride with aliens if they promise to bring you back? God damn it. Again, my 5-year-old self says, hell yeah. Let's go. Can I take a banana with me? Because I might get hungry. But the responsible Patrick in me, the 44-year-old, says, probably not. Because how do I know they're going to bring me back? Is that what they tell everybody? We'll bring you back. Next thing you know, you get to their planet and then you run into other humans and they're like, did they tell you they'd bring you back? Yeah, me too. Right. Monkey Boy, do you believe that there are NHI living in the oceans? I think it's a strong possibility for sure. And I think, again, that would be just the craziest thing to me if that was possible. That would just, again, that would be more mind-blowing to me than beings coming from another star system. So that seems very likely. But yes, that would be crazy. And there's a lot of strong evidence. I wouldn't say there's proof, but there's evidence. Do you think that the only reasons we have only explored 25% of the oceans close to shore is because they know they are there? I personally don't think that, just because I've looked into a lot of that kind of stuff. Water pressure is no joke, right? And the technological capabilities to dive deep into the ocean require far more engineering than traveling in space. So I think it's just more our technological capabilities, and we do it so close to shore for obvious reasons, right? But yeah, exploring under the ocean is very difficult and expensive and time consuming. And so I think that's the reason. But at the end of the day, what do I know? Yeah, could be aliens. Sure. I guess it's always possible at the end of the day. Look at the, what is it? Oh my God, I'm going to say it wrong. Something Trench, the Marianas Trench, or I can't remember the name of it. Oh God, it's like the deepest point in the ocean that we can get to. It's crazy. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. But look, there's a lot of the ocean we have not explored. That is true. There are continent-sized areas of the ocean. Continent-sized areas that we have not explored. That is crazy. So there's a lot more on this planet to look into, y'all, for sure. Rhett, are you going to cover this story about ETs being time travelers and Project Lotus? I don't know about Project Lotus entirely enough to cover it just yet, but I've covered the time travelers. If you go watch my interview with Dr. Michael Masters, we talk extensively about that. So just search vetted Dr. Michael Masters, it will come up. If the orbs pick up spacecraft when they crash within minutes, how would he explain the U.S. recovery program? I think he's referring to Patrick Jackson's theory that the craft, when they crash, the UFOs, when they crash, they get picked up by Tic Tacs. Those are the ships or crafts that then pick up downed UFOs. Oh, it's interesting. Well, maybe they don't get them all. I don't know. There's lots of different theories of UFOs crashing, UFOs being donated, UFOs being shot down, UFOs being affected by an EMP pulse, UFOs being affected by a nuclear blast. Am I saying that right? Nuclear. I keep saying it wrong. Now I try to think about it every time I just say it. So screw you guys. Okay. I'm going to say it the way I want. Just deal with it. It's now it's messing with my mind, and I don't even know if these thoughts are my own. Yeah, there's different thing, out there of like how these craft come down, and then it gets even more out there when you start getting into the fringe of some other different, whistleblowers who have come out who have other theories about how these things are taken down. I don't know. Right? That's very interesting. But I mean, it could. I mean, I don't know. Just play devil's advocate. It could be just they don't get all of them. So that's why we have the recovery program, because they don't get to all the UFOs. I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying that that's a possibility. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Sorry, y'all. Let me. Okay. Pat, the UFO movie they don't want you to see supposedly debunks the 3 military videos. I'd like to see a rebuttal to that. I don't think I'm qualified for that. Me personally. What do I know? There's no way. But I have seen the movie. Mick West is in it, and they do go over these military videos and debunk them. Look, I think it's you have different people are going to think these videos are different things. It's just that simple. Let them think it. You know what I mean? You got people that have shown a lot of evidence for XYZ, right? It being an actual UFO. And then you have people like Mick West and others who are like, it's not, it's this, or, whatever. Teach their own. When it comes to that, I think it's just take it all in and you just make up your own decision. But people are allowed to go out and debunk, right? What they think or don't or whatever. I don't have any problem with it. But I'm definitely not qualified to sort of rebuttal to that. Like in no way. I'm not. It would literally just be an opinion, which is, I think a lot of people get caught up in like their opinion is fact. I'm telling you, it's this. Okay. I mean, imagine if that's was your belief system was based on, well, if someone just said it's fact, then you just believed things on that. I don't recommend that. Right. So, and I think that's all it is. Right. I've seen great videos like Chris Leto, for instance, breaking down those videos and super interesting. Right. And then you see Mick West and some of his is interesting too. But me personally, I like to look at all the context. So I think those videos require, in my opinion, all the context to be considered, not just the video itself. Because the video, there's 3 of them, right? But different ones are about certain events that happen, and they contain a lot more data and evidence. And I think that context is important to keep in mind when making a decision about said video, the Tic Tac and all that, right? Like there's so much more evidence than just that video that something was flying around. I mean, you got pilots, you got radar, you got something happened. Something was flying around. It was not a jet or a bird or a balloon or anything, it was something crazy. What that crazy is, I don't know, but it did things that were nuts. And you have a top tier fighter pilot and fighter pilots saying that. Yeah, I trust that. I do. That something crazy happened. That's what I mean. But great question, JC the third. How does everyone feel about Patrick getting a co-host? Thoughts? What kind of question? Leo? Jeez. No, I don't have the budget for that. You know what I mean? Would not have the budget or the time to coordinate with someone else. It's much easier for me to run this on my own and bring people here and there and collaborate, right? It's just time, schedule. I can provide a better product at the end of the day. If you're looking for other opinions on the matter, I mean, there's plenty of other podcasts and stuff out there, but getting a co-host, yeah, it's just not viable on so many logistical levels. If I had a dream budget and dream, yeah, I would. There would be probably multiple people on this show, to be honest with you. And maybe one day we'll get to that. Because I like working off other people and bouncing off other people for sure, which is why I'm looking forward to Thursday's live stream. Some of these comments, y'all. Have you had any updates on the implants? No, there will be no updates on that until Ron James's documentary comes out, essentially, at least on that particular implant of the veteran. And if you're unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, look at my Ron James interview that I just released last weekend, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Great video with Ron James, exclusive information and interview with the person who had an implant removed. Vetted Rocks. What's up, legend? Is anyone into the NFL? I'm all for Seattle Seahawks and the San Diego Chargers. I know the LA team now, but not then. Yeah, man, I got a fantasy league going, legend. I got a fantasy league going, and I'm not doing well. So I don't really have a team. I more care about the players on my fantasy team and how they're doing. And that's what fantasy football makes you. You just don't have a favorite team anymore. It just becomes these players on your team. So you're watching all kinds of games. You're supporting lots of different teams every week and switching around. You might say you're a fair weather fan if you do fantasy. All right, guys, I'm going to go 5 more minutes. And then that's it. An NHI co-host. Yeah, that would be hilarious. Yeah, we have. Sorry, guys. We have a co-host. My dog. Is he back there? No, he got up. So he's usually sitting in this chair behind me. I mean, all right, guys, I think this will be my last question here. If Congress discusses NHI in an open setting, can you see them telling us if they like Spam or cheese? Huh? What? Is that saying like if the NHI like Spam or cheese? I'm sorry. I think I'm not used to like internet speak and like slang and different things. I just don't understand. I think jokes go over my head a lot when it comes to certain stuff. I will rightly admit that. Oh, let's give a shout out to this guy, Rodrigo. Hi from a plane heading to Austin. Very cool, man. You watch us on the plane? That's what I'm talking about. Look out the window. Do you see anything? We would like to know. All right, guys, my last question. I got a super chat, so I'm going to put it on here. Pat, there's 3 parts here. Oh, he's telling me. Okay, he's giving me the truth, y'all, right here. Number 1, government releasing info of UFOs made on Earth. 2, cover-up is about UFOs from space. 3, cover-up protects investors. Well, there's a lot more parts than that, but I get your point. That is your theory, I'm assuming, Talk Steer. And I appreciate it. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably agree with you. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Shout out to our vet of the month, Todd Harper. Make sure you check him out in open mics with his Todd Tots. And yeah, great conversations, y'all. So as soon as this live stream ends, I would imagine there's going to be a lot of people in the open mic and Discord. So if you want to be a part of a growing community, again, just over 1,000 members now, which is a lot on Discord, y'all. Okay, we grinded to get there for sure. And we protect it, right? We want a nice community where you can go in with your own opinion, just be respectful, and we can have all the conversations you want. And we've built up a nice community of people that want the same thing, right? Just interesting dialogue. So go after this live stream if you want, anytime you see this, and go to our Discord, sign up, jump in, join the conversation. Love to have you. So shout out to all the mods who helped today, as always. Of course, Brookers, Heiser, Jessica, Justin, Allie, Chris, Daniel, especially. Thank you guys so much. I need to make a list of all the names so I don't forget one day somebody's name. That horrifies me, to be honest with you, if I were to do that. Because every one of them deserves the biggest high five I could ever give them, to be honest with you. So shout out to them for being so cool and taking care of everything in the chat today. Thank you guys. And shout out to all my YouTube members, man. Love you guys. Thank you guys so much for signing up and being a part and supporting Vetted. It really means a lot. I am going to be having another members live stream soon, so stay tuned for that. You'll be notified when that happens. So, and I've got some great stuff going on Patreon this week. An exclusive interview that I'm only going to put on Patreon and not on the main channel. So look forward to that. It's not any sort of paywall thing or anything like that. It's just something that it's a little too hot for YouTube. I can't put it. I just can't put it on here. So it's going to go straight on Patreon. I've got some other stuff planned for Patreon this week. So shout out. Thank you guys. All right. We'll see you guys on tomorrow's video. It's going to be awesome. Don't forget about Thursday. It's going to be a great live stream. So shout out to everyone. Thank you better so much. Remember, every day is a gift, y'all. Peace.